Hey folks, Nicholas Field here, and today we're going to talk about the iPad in terms of its utility on set for production sound mixers. I got this iPad Mini 6 earlier this year, and I've been using it for everything from pre-production to invoicing to organizing my personal life. I even use the iPad to edit this video. Now, it's definitely worth mentioning that a lot of the apps that I mentioned in this video can be accessed via a smartphone. However, I really like to have redundant equipment in case a phone dies or is broken on set. To me, redundancy is essential, and since we have come to rely quite a bit on apps, an iPad has become an essential tool. Plus, the larger screen of the tablet comes in very handy for some of these applications. So, with that in mind, I've narrowed the scope of this video down to 5 apps I use regularly while on set, with a few honorable mentions at the end. So please like and subscribe, and let's go. Scriptation is an app designed for managing, you guessed it, scripts. But it's really an incredibly powerful tool for doing exactly that. The first thing I want to talk about is how this app handles revisions, because this feature is a huge time saver for me. For example, let's say you get version 1 of a script during pre-production, and you go through and make notes in the margins. Next week, you get V2 of the script with a ton of revisions. Now, normally you'd have to go through version 1 and transfer all of your notes by hand to the newest script, crossing your fingers that another revised script wasn't coming around the bend. But with Scriptation, this is a non-issue, because when you receive a revised script, you simply load it in the app and hit transfer, and Scriptation will automatically transfer your notes to the updated script. It works really well, and I use this feature all the time. Another cool feature of this app is the ability to automatically highlight actors and their lines throughout the script. This is super helpful when you're mixing, and in the past I would go through a script and do this by hand to have a visual color-coded representation of the mix. But with Scriptation, you just have to press a button and assign the colors you prefer. Finally, you can use this app to house your call sheets to reference quickly on the day. Just load it in your app, and it will populate as a tab next to your script, saving you the trouble of diving into your email to view important information. Highly recommended. Sound Device's Wingman app is an app that many of you are probably already familiar with, but it had to make this list because it has become an essential part of my workflow. This app connects to your Sound Device's 6 series or Mix Pre-series recorder/mixer and allows you to quickly update ISO names, takes, and additional metadata. And while you can do all this with your hardware, it's definitely a bit slow inputting notes and updating things like ISO track names on a busy film set. Wingman also allows you to create sound reports much more quickly and easily, and for this I use a small keyboard to input my notes, and then I generate the sound report on my mixer at the end of the day, where it's added to my SD card folder for delivery. And by the way, Sound Devices have a newer app for their 8 series mixers called SD Remote that seems like Wingman, but with a lot more power. Since I'm still rocking my 633, I haven't used SD Remote, but I felt it's worth mentioning here. It's been about a year since I upgraded my wireless to a Wisycom system, and I've come to rely on this app quite a bit in my day-to-day work. You can use the app to control various parameters of the wireless system, including changing the frequency, audio levels, channel and group, TX and RX bandwidth, RF power, recording, bulk edit transmitters, and much, much more. The app was released about a year ago, and it has been updated 11 times already, so it's clearly a strong priority for Wisycom to develop and refine. And this tool has definitely been a lifesaver when I have to quickly switch to higher output power or reduce the gain for loud talkers. I use this app every single shoot when setting up timecode with my Tentacle sync boxes. It makes timecode sync painless, and the ability to use the phone's NTP time is really handy for accurate time of day anywhere in the world. I appreciate being able to control and interface the sync boxes via an app without touching the physical devices during a shoot, because I can rejam the whole system at lunch without touching any cameras. I've made a few videos about this timecode setup if you feel like checking them out. Now, the Timebar app is technically separate from the Tentacle Sync app, but I'm including it here for folks that haven't used it. And basically, this is just a quick way to get a big timecode display, which you can then use to show cam ops from across the room. It can be useful in lieu of a timecode slate on run and gun stuff, or on VR shoots where you need to confirm sync on several cameras very quickly. And I've also heard of folks using this on shoots with more remote setups, where cams might be running in several disparate locations for long periods of time. In this case, it's cheaper and easier to send ACs with a Tentacle in their pocket and a Timebar app to help confirm sync, instead of a full-size slate. Last winter, when I had some downtime, I decided to move a lot of my business over to Notion. Notion is basically a productivity tool, and I like to think about it as a personal Wikipedia for my life, because you can use it to organize absolutely everything. The possibilities are quite deep, so I'll tell you how it's come in handy for my specific use case. I use it as a library to handle my sound resources such as manuals, keeping them in a central database so if anything acts up on location, I'm wasting zero time Googling things. I also create, edit, and store my rate cards here, along with running documents for active productions to stay organized and on top of things. I also have a running list of equipment I'm interested in that I can organize hierarchically according to my needs to ensure I don't impulsively spend on the wrong things. I even track the cost of expendables from different vendors to ensure I'm getting the best bang for my buck. I also use Notion to create manifests for gear when I'm prepping for jobs to ensure nothing gets left behind. Checklisting is a great way to de-stress on big projects. I script and organize all of my YouTube videos here, and I use it to streamline areas of my personal life to help me stay chill when work gets super busy. Tools like a smart grocery list that works off a personal inventory of my kitchen reduces the friction of daily life. And while this app is by no means exclusive to production sound, it's a valuable tool for organizing any small business. These apps didn't make my top 5, but they're incredibly useful, so I'm including them here as honorable mentions. So the first app in my honorable mentions list is Lectro RM. It's an essential app for utilizing the Dweedle tone control of Lectrosonics transmitters. And because I don't have Lectros, I don't use this very often, but I still have the app, and it's essential if you have Lectros in your workflow or if you happen to encounter them on the job. QTake is a great way to monitor camera wirelessly without a dedicated monitor. Not all productions have moved to this, but it's becoming very popular around here. OnCue is a soundboard app that can be useful for playback. Just edit your files and drop them in. I like to use it to cue playback for scenes like phone calls. If you have an Apple Pencil, Notes is a very useful app for quickly jotting notes in meetings or during a shoot to remember things for later. The Apple Pencil works better for this app than any other app for some reason, so I've stuck to this for all of my note-taking. Okay folks, those are the 5 apps I use most for working on set as a production sound mixer. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support my channel. And if you feel like supporting my channel directly, you can send me a tip via PayPal, or click through my affiliate links to purchase useful gear for production. I receive a small commission from these purchases at no additional expense to you. And finally, if you have any ideas for future videos or want to contribute to the conversation, please do so in the comment section below. Peace.